Hey guys, how's it going? It's Orit here. In this video, I want to share some advice for all of you DIY music artists out there. I've been doing music professionally for about 10 years now. And when I say professionally, I mean like actually making the decision to pursue a career in music, releasing music, performing, that kind of thing. So I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and I have, quite a big lesson to share with you and some advice to share with you from that experience. Now, everybody's journey is different, but this is just what I observed, all right? So I used to think that just creating a song, just creating music was enough. I used to think that just, the act of writing a song, getting it produced, working with collaborators, whatever the process is, and then saying I have a song once it's finished, I used to think that was enough. And that's far from the truth. And I know, you might be hearing this and you're like, well, yeah, that's obvious right now, but it sounds obvious, but a lot of music artists aren't doing enough to put themselves out there and to market themselves. And so I want to ask you this question. I want to ask you, how much do you invest? And when I say invest, I mean like how much time and money do you spend on the creation side of things? And how much time and money do you spend on the marketing side of things? So think about that for a second. So how much time do you actually spend on the creation? So that means like writing your music, composing it, maybe finding collaborators to work with, polishing it up, mixing and mastering, all that kind of stuff. How long do you spend there? And how much money do you spend on that, right? And then how does that percentage compare to the actual marketing side of things? And when I say the marketing, how many pieces of content do you create around every single song once it's released? How many videos do you create around that? Do you have a music video? Do you have behind the scenes stuff? Do you create posts around it? Do you spend money on paid ads? Do you do Instagram or Facebook ads or YouTube ads? Compare those percentages of how much you invest in creating versus marketing, and that will tell you where you're at. That will be a good indication of, whether or not you're satisfied with the way things are going. Because if your goal is to just create, that's more like a hobby. It's just to create for yourself, and that's fine. That can be something that's just fulfilling for yourself. That's great. But if your goal is to build an audience around your music, if it's to get a record label, if it's to go on tour, if it's to make money from your music, all that kind of stuff, then you need to push. You need to be putting yourselves out there even more. You need to tip the scale and make that percentage higher on the marketing side. It's equally, if not more important, to go 50% or above in the marketing space versus creation space. So the marketing is super, super important. You have to start treating your music like an actual business. And it will take some time away from creating, but that's why, certain artists have seasons. And this is something that I've been doing too recently is, I'll spend like a few months just creating, like writing, that kind of thing, producing. And then there'll be a period of time where I'm actually just only focusing on marketing. Sometimes I'll have paid ads running throughout the entire period, but you gotta kind of section things off that way if you're concerned with it taking time away from your creation. So I really want to encourage you to put more time into creating more marketing posts, doing more paid ads, putting yourself out there more, because that is going to pay off. If you don't have a budget for paid ads or marketing, there are ways around that. You know, if you say you don't have a budget, you might fall under one of two categories. You might actually do have the money to spend on your music career, but you choose to spend it elsewhere. You know, on like going out, restaurants, coffees, that kind of thing. There is money that you can take a portion of whatever you're making, a small percentage of what you're making, whether that's from your job or whatever else, and dedicate it to investing it back in your music career. So it's just a matter of priorities, right? Where you spend your money tells you what you prioritize and what you care about most. So if you're not spending the money on your music career, well, then maybe it's not something that you really, really want to pursue. Just saying. That's one category. If you actually don't have a budget, if you don't have a budget to spend on paid ads, that is fine. You just need to find other ways of leveraging. So because money, paid ads, and that kind of thing is a form of leverage, right? It gets you seen by lots more people than you would otherwise without the paid ads, without that leverage. So if that's the case, find other forms of leverage. Maybe it's doing a collaboration with someone who has a bigger following than you. So that way you're able to leverage that person's audience and be heard and seen by their audience. Maybe as well, another idea is to reach out to different music blogs to see if they can feature you. Choose music blogs that are popular, that have an audience, and see if they'll write a feature article on you and your song that you're releasing. Maybe as well, another form is to reach out to Spotify playlist curators to see if they'll put your song in their playlist. There are tons of other ways that you can get around not actually having the money for paid ads, but think in that kind of sense, in terms of leverage and how you can get in front of more eyes in that way, in those free kinds of ways, if you don't actually have the money to pay for it. The whole point is that it shouldn't just stop at, I don't have money to spend on my music career and that's why I'm failing, or that's why my music isn't growing. No, there are ways around it. There's always a way. It's up to you to find those ways. And on this channel, you know, I share as much as I can about what I'm doing in different ways that I'm marketing on Spotify, YouTube, that kind of thing. I actually also have an entire video, which I'll put in the description below. That is my entire checklist for releasing a single. And it's a lot of like, this is like the free way basically to market and promote yourself. It's a lot of social media posts. It's a lot of emails, reaching out to your audience, building an audience, that kind of stuff. So there are ways to hustle, and you just have to be down for that if it is something that you really are serious about. So really think about that question. How much do you spend on the creation side of things, on creating your music, versus the marketing side of things? And I want you to do something today or this week to increase the percentage on the marketing side, because that's going to matter in the long run. And make a habit out of it. Do something every day or every week or whatever you can, your schedule can fit in. Do something every day to market yourself, to market your music or whatever it might be. So that's the advice that I wanted to share with you guys. I know this might be the hard truth for some people, but it was a hard truth for me, because that's something I realized. I think early in my music career, I was just so happy to create. I was so happy to say like that I've released an album or a single, because that was far from what I ever thought I could achieve. So for me, that was in itself an achievement, more so than the marketing side of things. But as time progresses, you choose bigger and better goals as you progress, as you grow. And this marketing piece is so important. It's really something that you can see an actual difference in numbers in terms of streams on your music. Like, I'll just quickly show you here before we end this video. Here, on Spotify. Like this is a huge difference. 5.4K streams on this song, which I spent more time marketing than all of these other songs that I had released way earlier in my music career, and not that much. I mean, another thing too is that like you might, for me, I think it was a bit of like I released some of these songs and I wasn't that excited to share it with people for some of them, not for all of them. So I didn't push it hard out. I didn't make a big push for them. So that's another thing too. You really want to make sure that you're really excited about what you're creating, because think about it in the terms of you will be sharing it with other people. So make sure it's something that you're proud of and that fits in with your sound, your brand. And you really never know what opportunities can come out of just putting yourself out there. So many cool things have happened ever since I started a YouTube channel from my music. And you like stuff that you can't even imagine. So guys, I'll end this video here. Please let me know what you think. Leave me a comment down below, hit thumbs up on this video, and subscribe to the channel for more good stuff. Also, don't forget to check out those other tutorials. I do have more music marketing tutorials in the description to other videos on this channel that you might find helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.